He's looking for food. They want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day. Let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up. But some still make up my mind. Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die, you voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in the way to settle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear.
Now this one this one is personal. This one is personal. You know, Trump, as people may have heard, Trump wants to divert attention from his little shenanigans, which is not really little. I mean, his shenanigans aren't little at all. His shenanigans are stuff that's like, oh, hold on. Yeah, here we go. Daggone, y'all. Sorry about that. Trump's shenanigans are really about little girls. Trump's shenanigans, everything that he does is about the fact that he likes them young. Putin and others, along with Epstein, have photographs and possibly video of it. You don't know if it's only Epstein videos and pictures. It could be his time in Russia too, videos and pictures. You never know, but everyone knows this, especially the criminals in Washington, D.C. Because yes, y'all, even the criminals in D.C. read the goddamn newspaper. Yes, they do. Who said criminals are illiterate these days? Yes, every person, even the homeless people, read the newspapers. Homeless people, criminals, they all know that Trump likes them young and Epstein was pretty much extorting him and Putin. Everybody knows that. So you want to send the National Guard to a city where everybody reads the newspapers, dude. Everybody's been watching you for weeks. Everybody in D.C., the violent criminals, the not so violent criminals, the homeless people, the rich people, the middle class folk, the college students, every single body in D.C. knows that Trump is scared of what his own criminal dirt is really about. And instead of being a man and manning up himself and going to the damn pen himself, he wants to make everybody else get punished for his crimes. Isn't that a bastard? That's like a snitch. That's like a snitch. Trump is the worst crime partner because he will snitch on you. I mean, he's going to take everybody that's with him down. That's how Trump does it. And then when it's time for him to pay the piper, he's going to think about his own ass. So everyone in DC knows you don't follow someone like him. And you also don't take him at his word either. You don't take him at his word. So people in DC are not stupid. They're pretty international people. Even the criminals, even the POFI people read the newspaper in DC. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They know how to get down with advocacy in DC. The lawyers, the homeless people, the young people that go to college, the young people that work, the middle class people that have families that take care of their families, they all know how to do advocacy and harass. We know how to do this. The National Guard was in DC after Martin Luther King. Yeah. After the deaths of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, the National Guard was in DC. Hey, it is what it is. But the thing is that this ain't the 1960s no more. This ain't the 1960s. You know, this is 2025, and everybody knows Trump likes them young, and he is running because all his folks that's standing up here on this stage, look at these people standing on this damn stage. This is just pathetic. This is just pathetic. Is this the right one? Hold on, let me get these clips ready because do I have this ready? Hold on. I'm sorry. Here, let's do it like this. There we go. All the people standing on the stage here, these are all the same people that promised to release the Epstein files. What a coincidence. And they ain't done that yet. 6 months in, and they still have not done that. Let's see what this is about.
I understand, but they fought back against.
There we go. This is our man right here. This is our man. Here we go. Look, all of these people right here on stage. You see who these people are? These are all, look at this, especially these two. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in here. See these two right here? See them? Bondi and Cash Patel. This is what sending around. It's these two people. And of course, Ghislaine Maxwell. All of these people, they can't stand the attention. And they're so lowlifes that instead of just manning up and admitting to what they've been doing, they want to unleash the federal government on citizens. They are so pathetic. They can't admit that they've been down with protecting pedophiles. And so they're going to send the military to harass taxpayers and even worse, harass homeless people. This is who we're dealing with right here. And let's remind people that just a few days ago, not many days ago, this was the talk. This is what they were talking about a few days ago.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office. It's sitting on my desk right now to review. A truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Right, exactly. So they deviated from that. They deviated from that. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. They deviated from that whole thing about releasing the Epstein files. What a big coincidence that is. Pam Bondi's been AWOL. She's been AWOL for weeks now, sick or something. Cash Patel's been quiet as hell. They got J.D. Vance now out on the scene talking about the defending and how the Democrats didn't release the files. And please don't blame us because the Democrats 4 years ago, they could have released them, even though Trump didn't release them the year before that when he was in the White House. His main witness dies while he's the president. And now all of a sudden, they got a new idea to distract people. Let's go pick on the poor in Washington, D.C. Let's do that. Wow, that's so exciting. Let's send the federal government after people because our president, best friend, was the most prolific pedophile in the United States of America, and it's looking like he might be one too.
I'm going up here a lot. I've never seen a crowd like this. I think we need a ballroom, and that's happening. It's going to be a beautiful ballroom. This is really a lot of people, most I've ever seen in this room. And we're here for a very serious purpose, very serious purpose. Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back.
What a convenient now. Wow, we got plans to liberate. That's going to take a lot of time, huh? That's a great distraction, y'all. Hey, y'all. We will not release the files even if it exposes Democrats anymore. No, for some strange reason, we want to do a big project.
Me, as the President of the United States, I'm officially Home Rule Act. You know what it is? Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that. Establish law, order, and public safety. Do
that 5 months ago when he first came in office if it was so bad. How come he didn't do that before? How come he didn't do it 5 months ago if it's so bad? He just woke up today and figured out it was so bad just right at the time where Bondi, you should have released it. Trump told you to release it, and now you're not releasing it. You took a hiatus, and now you show back up on really strange.
And you all know people and friends of yours that happened, and paper buy something. Places that you hear about as being the worst places on earth, much higher. This is much higher. 5 years, and the number of carjackings has.
He's reading the same data, federal data, state data. They have data that shows the crime has been going down since 2023. But again, when did he find out about 2023 crime in D.C.? He just found out about it today when everyone's waiting for the Epstein files to be released. What a coincidence. And he's not even going to tell you what the same people who did the data federally and statewide have to say about it. No, he's talking about 2023.
Gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged out maniacs and homeless people. And we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're not going to take it. Just like we did.
But we could take it in every other state, though. No problem. We just love D.C. You know, we love D.C. more than the other states. The other states can have drug addicts running wild and wild drug dealers, and but he doesn't care about the other states enough to bring out the National Guard.
On our southern border, nobody comes to our southern border anymore. 3 months in a row.
D.C. has more police per square foot than any other place in the world. What makes him think that all of a sudden bringing in some National Guard is going to change crime? Okay, so you guys think that crime is going to be changed by the National Guard just standing around? What are they going to do? What tools do they have? Do they have better tools than the FBI that's there fighting crime? What is the FBI that bad? Really? Is the local police that bad and the FBI? Okay.
Bro, we had
Sounds
zero.
like a circus.
I don't know if that's right, but the people that do the work, it's a very liberal group of people, actually, and they actually said zero for the last 3 months. Nobody thought a thing like that was possible.
And there he is injecting politics into it. So now, even though he wants to stop the crazy crime, it's not about the crazy crime. It's about who's liberal and who's not, right? Okay, interesting.
And, when you take a look at numbers, I just saw some charts. These are different cities throughout the world. Red is, okay, the red is a place called Washington.
Listen, that's so funny how you said, okay. He doesn't even know what the red says. Look, Let's look at our own data. Here's some data right here. Boom. The correct news headlines for this is not Trump to lay out his plan for reducing crime in the nation's capital, according to Bloomberg, or Trump to speak at the White House on violent crime in D.C., but rather President lies about crime in D.C. because he's scared that people have figured out Putin is blackmailing him with pictures of little girls, possibly, and him on video, which is why Trump is going to go and meet him in Alaska, unprecedented, and he's going to invade D.C. with what? The National Guard. That should be the real news. That should be the real news. But it's not. It's not. You know, not to Trump. Trump, he's on some other shit. Let's listen.
Look at these. Baghdad we doubled up on Baghdad. Panama City, Brasilia, San Jose, Costa Rica, Bogota, Colombia.
He could find some data already inside of the U.S. with other states that have more violent crime. You know, right now it's just simple. He already has the data from the state. You know, the FBI makes their data according to the state and the other organizations that are on the ground. The FBI doesn't send people out to do data themselves. They compile the data that's already being done. You know, so this is just more buffoonery. And again, he's reading data from 2020 when? And he just found out about it when? He just found out about that now. He couldn't find out about it last month. Interesting.
Colombia, heavy drugs. Mexico City, I mentioned. Lima, Peru. All double and triple.
Very interesting. Trump is that man. Trump is that man. He's going to stop the crime.
But they fought back against law enforcement last night.
And now he wants to give people the idea that we're going to use violence too. I mean, this is Trump, the mobster who talks out the side of his neck. But guess what? People in D.C. are not fooled by this. There's nothing but there's a hell of a lot of lawyers in D.C. There's a hell of a lot of activists in D.C. And they know what grassroots is when they have to know about it. So they all read the papers. The felons read the papers. The lawyers read the papers. The school teachers read the papers. The students read the papers. The young people, the mothers, single mothers read the papers. Everybody in the city knows that this is about a distraction from this old, crusty, dusty man liking him young and being blackmailed by Putin and possibly others. That's all this is about. And he's so shameful. Look, if you know what I found interesting was look at Pam Bondi's face while he says these things. Just look at this. Let's go back a little bit.
And they're not going to be fighting back long because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, you know, they love to spit in the face of the police as the police are standing up there in uniform. They're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face. And then
if you watch Pam Bondi and don't even listen to him, watch Pam Bondi the entire press briefing. And also, Hegseth, I detected something. I detected something from their body language. Something's not right with them. This is not the same old Pam Bondi we saw the last time she was out on camera. This is not. There's something else going on, and this lady knows it. She knows she's sitting up there standing next to a deranged lunatic who has involved himself in every bit of what has been alleged of him. She knows that. Watch her face.
And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they can hit real hard. It's a disgusting thing. I've watched that for years.
It's not working anymore. The magic trick is over. Nobody's buying it anymore.
Years, for 3-4 years, I've watched them. The police are standing, and they're told, don't do anything under any search. So and you can see they want to get at it. and they're standing there and people are spitting in their face and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want. This dire public safety crisis stems directly from the abject failures of the city's local leadership, the radical left city.
No. It actually literally stems from what they said they were going to do just months ago that they decided they're not going to do now. It literally stems from this.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office. It's sitting on my desk right now to review. A truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Right. That's literally what they were saying months ago. They weren't saying anything about DC months ago. They were talking about that Epstein shit. And then all of a sudden, after Pam Bondi disappears, she disappears since she was the one who promised it, right? She put her job on the line and she shows up here.
The only language they understand, but they fought back against law enforcement last night. And they're not going to be fighting back long because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, you know, they love to spit in the face of the police as the police are standing up there in uniform. They're standing and they're screaming at them an inch away from their face. And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they get hit real hard. It's a disgusting thing. I've watched that for years, for 3-4 years. I've watched them. The police.
He don't even know what he's got to say anymore. 3-4 years I watched him. Man, you just got back in the White House 6 months ago, dude. Your ass was out doing whatever you do, chasing little girls. He's talking about, I watched him. You weren't even in D.C. What the hell is he talking about?
Police are standing, and they're told, don't do anything under any search. So and you can see they want to get at it. And
look at that. That's his way of saying, trying to tell the local police and the National Guard, you know, go beat people up. Go rough people up. That's how you do your job. That's how you put them in their place. Go rough them up. It's just the same thing. I mean, he's done this so many times over and over and over, except the worst part about this is that it is very clear that he is willing to use the U.S. taxpayers' military to beat civilians because they know that he's being blackmailed by Putin. That's how sick this dude is. I mean, he doesn't want people to know that he's not that big macho man. No, he is the coward. He is the coward. Every bit of the coward that is being alleged of him. He's a small man. That's what it appears to be. We don't know for fact, but hey, you know, when a dude starts lashing out at everything around him because people accuse him of being a pedophile, which is exactly what it is. That's exactly what's happening right now. People have accused Trump of being a pedophile and accused him of being the best friend of the most prolific pedophile in the United States of America. And he's angry at how people feel about him. He's such a little man.
They're standing there and people are spitting in their face and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want. This dire public safety crisis stems directly from the
whatever people are doing to piss Trump off, keep doing it. It's working.
Abject failures of the city's local leadership. The radical left city council adopted no cash bail. By the way, Shadow, Mike. No, there's no word on Biden, Obama, or the Clintons. He's not talking about them because if you start asking him about them,
the natural question would be, so release the files, damn it. And he's going to say, no, no, no. So he's not talking about them anymore. See, he wants to talk about anything else besides the Epstein files.
Every place in the country where you have no cash bail is a disaster. That's what started the problem in New York, and they don't change it. They don't want to change it. That's what started it.
Look, let me make it plain. Trump, nobody in D.C. give a damn about what you're saying, okay? We don't give a damn. Just bring it on. Nobody cares about you. Everybody sees through you. You're Mr. Plastic Man. You are a pathetic human being. You're the type of guy that left a penthouse apartment, got out every day with your daddy, while you watched your daddy give a poor man a nickel and get right in the limousine and drive off every day. And Trump was like, my daddy's a good man. That's what's going on here. And we know it. OK, we don't give a damn what you think. You go around the rest of the country pushing people around, lying to people. If that's what they're willing to do, if they're willing to live with you being a piece of shit, or they believe your shit for 1 second, hey, that's on them. But we don't believe shit at all. We ain't scared. We don't give a damn. We going about our business the same way every day, regardless of what you do, because in the pen, they don't like pedophiles, bro. You get no respect.
In Chicago, I mean, bad politicians started it, bad leadership started it, but that was the one thing that's central: no cash bail. Somebody murders somebody and they're out on no cash bail before the day is out. We're going to end.
He robbed his own state, the own people where he grew up in. He robbed them of millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And he ain't go to jail. And he's talking about somebody else getting out of jail. Okay.
To end that in Chicago,
and he's about to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, the co-defendant, the co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein, the most prolific pedophile in U.S. history. According to who? According to who else? Let's listen. Let's see according to who.
President Julie Carr-Smythe from the Associated Press. I guess I'm going to be that person. There are some protesters outside accusing the GOP of protecting pedophiles, and we're wondering what you think are the reasons the U.S. government should shield the client list of Epstein from the public, and what you have to say about any relevance to that here today.
Well, let me say just a couple of things. First of all, the president has been very clear. We're not shielding anything. The president has directed the attorney general to release all credible information and, frankly, to go and find additional credible information related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. He's been incredibly transparent about that stuff, but some of that stuff takes time. You've got to assemble that stuff. You've got to compile that stuff.
Yeah, and you got to try to redact that stuff, and you got to hide that stuff, and you got to take 6 months to even still not know if you're going to release that stuff.
You've got to redact some victims' names so that you protect the victims. But the president has been very clear. He wants full transparency. He's asked that from the attorney general.
That means an order to cover it up, and please don't release it. I don't want nobody to see me all up in there.
And I know, because I talk to her all the time, the attorney general is hard at work on that issue right now. But I think I got to make an observation that there's an interesting thing about this case that the American media seems to totally ignore.
Now he's going to distract.
For 4 years under Joe Biden's Department of Justice, the media didn't give a damn about the Epstein files or about the Epstein case. For literally...
That's bullshit. The media was following Ghislaine Maxwell being prosecuted. This dude's full of shit.
20 years, the story about this scumbag, and he is a scumbag pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein.
Listen to that. Scumbag. So you heard him say it, right?
But
listen.
For 20 years...
Who's he talking about?
You had Obama and George W. Bush's pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein. He's dead now. Really 20 years, the story about this scumbag, and he is a scumbag pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein. He's dead now. But for
scumbag pedophile, right? That's who Jeffrey Epstein is. And who was his best friend?
The only language they understand, but they fought back against law enforcement last night. And
so this guy, the friend of the scumbag pedophile and alleged pedophile,
they're not going to be fighting back long, because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, they love to.
Let's listen to this old stanky piece of shit of a human being give not even anywhere close to Oscar performance. By the way, even MAGA people, are like really half of them. They got some diehard ones though, but half of them are beginning to wake up and just be offended. Yes, you fell for this. You fell for this, and you should feel ashamed. Joe Rogan, you were quite dumb for a person with that much money and that much, of a good life. I mean, you really don't dig in the books much. You believed Hillary Clinton was drinking baby blood. You believed all kinds of crazy shit. And you sat up there and you looked at this dude and you didn't know of anything about him that would make you say, I can't vote for him. Hell no. Even the allegation of being involved in sex trafficking, being involved in pedophilia wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to make Joe Rogan say, I pass. No, because that's that manosphere. But listen to him try to threaten DC people like DC people don't read the newspapers. DC people read the newspapers. The felons read the newspapers. The lawyers read the newspapers. The school teachers read the newspapers. The activists read the newspapers. The kids read the newspaper. All the kids know this dude is an alleged pedophile. All the teenagers know this dude is an alleged pedophile. Not just alleged, but prolific possibly. And not even just that. That he's so prolific that he could be blackmailed. A honeypot scam. I mean, all the teenagers know that. And they looking at this Bama like, God damn, fool. You would have come after us. It's pathetic. And people just going to sit there and laugh. Ha 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 ha. That's what they should do. Laugh. Because if the National Guard comes into DC, they're doing it for someone who is a prolific, alleged pedophile who is alleged to be blackmailed by Putin himself. And Putin is just walking his ass like a dog. And you're going to try to take it out on the DC people? You shameful. You shameful. Shameful.
Spit in the face of the police as the police are standing up there.
You see that? And he think the police are stupid. The police read the newspapers, Trump. The police read this. They know all of this stuff you've been alleged of. The police do. Okay? Look, this guy thinks he can play people against each other. That's his whole game. That was beautiful. First it's going to be black against white, then it's Hispanic and this and that, then it's liberal and conservative. He ain't none of it. How is an alleged pedophile a conservative? What the hell? You see, in the first place, this dude is so divisive, and people about to pull his card. People see right through it. People see through Pam Bondi, the one who said Acosta actually made a great deal, that was great for him letting Jeffrey Epstein off the hook. She got the job when Acosta got pulled in by Trump after letting Epstein off the hook. Then she got a job with Trump in the White House. Both of them got jobs. Yes. And you want to stand there and think that people don't read the newspapers? People don't know that is what's going on? You have no track record on crime. We know you're not coming to D.C. to stop the sex trafficking. You ain't coming to D.C. to prosecute the people that raped the little girls in the Epstein files. That you're not doing. You won't do that job. You're not there to clean up the swamp. You're not there to even, you're not even there to prosecute people that extort your president. You're not even there for that. This is just bullshit. This is just crazy. This is crazy. Look at these people. Look at these people. I wish I could get Cash Patel on this screen. Oh, my God.
And they're screaming at him an inch away from their face. And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit. And they can hit real hard.
Ooh, boo, 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 boo.
It's a disgusting thing. I've watched that for years.
And they can hit really hard. Look, that's how he brags about other people, too. You notice that? He even bragged about a dude having a Long Johnson. This guy is ridiculous. They can hit really hard. Yeah, well, Interesting.
3-4 years.
We ain't
I've
scared.
watched them. The police are standing, and they're told, don't do anything under any search. So this, and you can see they want to get at it.
Ooh, yeah, they
And
want
they
to get at it. They want to get at it. Ooh, look at that. Man, the gig is up. Nobody believes you anymore. Trump is a complete, utter phony. Complete, utter fraud. Everything he's ever done has been a complete, utter fraud. And he's standing there right now and thinking people don't see him for the complete, utter fraud that he is.
Standing there, and people are spitting in their face, and they're not allowed to do anything. But now they are allowed to do whatever the hell they want. This dire
really?
public safety crisis stems directly.
I guess we're going to have to take that one to court, too. Is it? Does he really mean? Did Trump say they could do whatever they want? Did the president of the United States go up to the podium in the White House briefing and say that they can do whatever they want? Supreme Court. Let's see where the Supreme Court, let's see how they rule on that. What's the Supreme Court's ruling going to be? I wonder, is it going to be the under the table, 6 of the men probably, got their, 6 of the men probably got some compromise too? Is it going to come out like that, or is it going to come out in favor of the paychecks, the money under the table, or is it going to come out according to the actual Constitution and just say it is what it is? He said what he said. So if anyone gets hurt, if any police officer said, Trump said I can do it, he said we can do anything we want. That's exactly, this is like September. This is like, Jan 6 again. The same types of comments. This is the same type of stoking up. And next, you're going to have people out there on screen, again, just like Jan 6, saying that, well, when Mr. Trump said that, I thought, I better go do it because my president said so.
Directly from the abject failures of the city's local leadership, the radical left city council.
Look at him whining. Look at him whining, talking about the radical left again and again and again. The radical left, the radical left.
Bail. By the way, every place in the country.
Oh, you know what? He just said the radical left. Is that what he just said? He just reminded me of something. The radical left. Right. Let me see here. He just reminded me of something. And what the heck was that? He's talking about the radical left. Let me see. So I want to introduce you all to my little friend. Where's this at? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Can I not find this? For some reason, it's not pulling up. All right, so let me just go back out of that and let this rock. For some reason, it's not pulling up, so I have to figure out what that was. But here we go. Sorry about that, y'all.
Bail is a disaster. That's what started the problem in New York, and they don't change it. They don't want to change it. That's what started it in Chicago. I mean, bad politicians started it, but that was the one thing that's central. No cash bail. Somebody murders somebody, and they're out on no cash bail before the day is out. We're going to end that in Chicago. We're going to change the statute. I spoke with Pam and Todd and everybody. We're going to change the statute, and I'm going to have to get the Republicans to vote because the Democrats are weak on crime. Totally weak on crime.
This is the crime stats right here.
They want to stop because they get mugged too. But we're going to change no cash bail. We're going to change the statute and get rid of some of the other things. And we'll count on the Republicans in Congress and Senate to.
So this right here, this is the crime he's talking about. This is the crime he's talking about. Where do you think the crime is? Where do you think the worst crime is? The violent crime. It says it right on the screen. You see, and this dude is fixated, again, where the crime really isn't. And now every city has crime, obviously, because the map shows that. But the worst of the crime was in the red areas. The redder it gets, you know? And for some reason, again, he's using federal dollars to go look in places where there really isn't anything. Just like he was talking about Canada bringing in fentanyl. Right. Why are you putting so much focus on the places where things aren't? You see, and again, it's just another Jedi mind trick by Trump, and it won't work. It's just what he does. It's what he does. Okay, let's see here. Trump crime in D.C. is so bad, he wants to deploy the National Guard. But this is the reality. D.C., this is violent crime per thousand. D.C. is at the level of, since 2025, this is their own stats. And the federal government uses these stats and stats from other independent orgs that are there. They compare them all, but these are one of the stats that they use, right? From the state, that's the main stats, 3.8. Republican home states, MAGA Mike Johnson, violent crime, 6.2. It's almost double. Thune, 2.7. Graham, Lindsey Graham, 4.7. That's higher than DC. Where's the National Guard? Rubio State, that's the same. Where's the National Guard? Abbott, look, you know, Abbott that wants to basically gerrymander so that there's no person other than a white person, a person who identifies as white, actually can be a congressional member. Yeah, that's in Texas. You see, in Tuberville. So all of these representative states have more crime. But again, the same or more or almost double. But again, he's not talking about it. He wants to talk about liberals. He wants to, you know, so how effective could it really ever be when he's not actually going after things the way you're supposed to go after them? If you want to reduce crime, hey, why don't you help people with health care with their tax dollars? Why don't you let their tax dollars help them with health care? If you want to reduce crime, why don't you let their tax dollars that they pay help their public schools if you want to stop crime? If you want to stop crime, why don't you help families that need cheaper daycare? Let their tax dollars help that. If you want to stop crime. If you want to stop crime, let people use their federal tax dollars to help provide homes for the homeless. If you want to stop crime. If you want to stop crime, make school more accessible, give people student debt relief, and even make schools free. Technical school, university, if you want to help stop crime. And if you want to help stop crime, help tax the billionaires that seem to think they can rape and pillage everyone's social security, everyone's retirement, and even rape and pillage their little girls, if you want to stop crime. But of course, that's not what this is about. This is about a man with a small penis. A man who has to do anything to show he's the boss. A man who can't get attention the normal ways. The normal way, just by treating people fairly and being decent. It's not good enough. $1 billion is not enough. $1 billion, he has to basically be a complete lunatic. You have to serve his narcissistic ego. And that's exactly what we're watching. A narcissist just go full ballistic on people.
I turn image 1. Here's a state-by-state map showing the latest breakdown of violent crime rates, incidents per 100,000 residents. The accompanying data reflects the most recent comprehensive figures, 2023, as published by the FBI and summarized by safehome.org. Site turn search 7.
Now, this doesn't have the state data from 2025, 2024, right? It doesn't have it, right? The FBI doesn't publish their stuff so fast. They're the latest to publish their stuff, right? So he's going on. So this right here is 2023, and it's still lower than other states that he's not sending the National Guard to.
Turn image 1. 2023 violent crime rate by state. Key insights. Top 5 states with highest violent crime rates. New Mexico, 749 per 100K. Alaska, Tennessee, among others, also ranked high. Top 5 states with lowest violent crime rates. Maine, lowest. New Hampshire, Connecticut also featured among the lowest rates, cite-turn-serfs. National trend. The U.S. saw an overall 3% decrease in violent crime from 2022 to 2023. Cite 17 turn search no row. Breakdown by offense, 2023 versus 2022. Murder and non-negligent manslaughter, 11.6%. Rape, 9.4%. Aggravated assault, 2.8%. Robbery, 0.3%. Cite. What about 2024? As of now, state-by-state violent crime data for 2024 isn't yet available. The FBI released national figures, but not by state.
Right. So when they say it's not available, it's because the FBI hasn't done their work yet to make theirs available. But the states do their own work, which the FBI primarily uses, and the states have already published their work. And there's a whole lot of places where violent crime is higher. The National Guard is not being sent. So, Mr. Trump, is really a guy who it's sad to know that a boy's ego could really be rubbed and harmed as a child to turn out like this. But it appears that that's the case. Like, this dude has been rotten since he was young. And he must have been treated very poorly. Maybe people never liked him. It seems like that because he is extremely antisocial. Very, very antisocial. And to the point where you just have to, it's like looking at that kid in school that is also antisocial and always have problems, right? Just basically an asshole. And the worst type is when their parents have some money. That makes it even more weird. But this appears to be one of those cases where you just laugh at him. You see what I mean? You just laugh at the guy because to take him serious would be really fooling yourself. To take him serious at all. It's nothing more pathetic than a man running from being outed himself as a pedophile. There's nothing more pathetic than and would use that to harm other people, to attack other people just to distract from that being outed. There's nothing that could be more pathetic than that. There's nothing that could be.
So what we have here is the Justice Department, the United States Justice Department, A, interfering with a witness, B, quite explicitly doing this to protect the President of the United States. Again, this is transparently not a fact-finding mission. Even that would be extraordinary for the number 2 in the Justice Department to be interviewing a convicted felon, someone who's convicted for sex trafficking, in fact.
But that's unprecedented also, just like Trump sending out the National Guard. It's basically him running.
But what is going on here is...
Y'all ever heard that reggae song? You're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away. But you can't run away from yourself. You can't run away from yourself.
Exactly. How do we, the Justice Department, get to go back over, and it's worth going over the history here. Ghislaine Maxwell knew Jeffrey Epstein beginning in the late 80s through to 2004, 2005, when she distanced herself, same period, absolutely the same period. The from year late 80s through to 2004 when Donald Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein. It's quite likely that the two people closest to Jeffrey Epstein during this time were Ghislaine Maxwell and Donald.
Yeah, so everybody else has to pay for Trump. Everyone else has to pay for him running from himself. Everybody else has to pay for it. And we understand that, folks from DC. And if other people want to be slaves and just go along and just do anything, believing in this guy, you have the right to do that. Your freedom. But there's no way in hell anyone in DC believes a damn thing about Trump other than he is what has been alleged of him and the criminal. Every single bit of it is him. So nothing is going to change that. No one is going to believe you, not in DC. Maybe MAGA people will, but there's like what, 0.0%, 0.9 of MAGA people in DC, right? So this won't detract from reality. This is only going to affirm the situation people are in. And the situation people are in, we all have to pay for. And that situation is this. They ran on a platform where they alleged that other people were in these files. And now that they're in office, it's being alleged that no, the same people that were covered up in the beginning and given a pass, the same people that helped cover them up are in power now doing the same exact thing, covering up who else was involved by not releasing the information and letting the perpetrator off the hook. Before it was Jeffrey Epstein, when he got his free pass in Florida, today it's Ghislaine Maxwell, where she's getting her pardon soon by Trump, according to Michael Wolff, the number one journalist, the would-be writer for Trump's book, and also for Epstein's book, right? Their biographers, the would-be, if Trump wasn't pissed and Epstein wasn't dead, right? According to him, 9 months from now, Trump will be given that pardon. And probably less. I think it's even going to be less than that. I think it's going to be around Christmas. I think Trump's going to get sick. J.D. Vance is going to take over. But before Trump gets sick, he's going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. That's what I think. And I think it's going to be closer than, way sooner than 9 months. But because they are not going to release these files and everyone knows that they are protecting pedophiles, they have to go around attacking everyone else because it's so obvious.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. That is an important thing.
I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office. It's sitting on my desk right now to review. A truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
So now that people are saying that's weird, that you're not releasing the list, you're not releasing the files, it's likely because you're implicated in the files yourself. Because of that, now we got to deal with this for being bad people.
Language they understand, but they fought back against law enforcement last night, and they're not.
This is what we're going to do if you keep asking about those Epstein files. We're going to send the National Guard on you.
Going to be fighting back long because I've instructed them and told them whatever happens, you know, they love to spit
Look
in
at
the
that.
face of
Yeah,
the police
that.
as the police are standing up there.
I like how you said, whatever happens, whatever happens. That sounds very
Standing
strange.
in uniform, they're standing.
Look at that.
And they're screaming at him.
I got to
an inch
threaten
away
you.
from-
I have to threaten you because you're asking about the Epstein files. I want it to stop, and you're not stopping.
And then they start spitting in their face. And I said, you tell them, you spit and we hit.
Spitting in the face to him, that's translate asking him about the Epstein files. That to him, that's you spit in my face. You keep asking me about the Epstein files, and now I'm going to hit back.
And they can hit real hard.
Woo!
It's a disgusting.
Woo! We take your threats seriously. We take your threats seriously, man. We scared. We shaking in our boots. Boo hoo.
Thing. I've watched that for years, for 3-4 years. I've watched them.
One thing we know is he ain't going to do a goddamn thing about Putin. Putin and Netanyahu have him in their pocket, and it is what it is. Nobody gives a damn. We're expecting more of the same. Lunacy. Trump tomorrow. The next day is going to be up on the roof trying to distract people. I mean, it literally is what it is, and we've learned that that's how it's got to be. That's just what it is. All right, you know, we will see tomorrow. We will see. The world will keep on turning. Ain't nobody going to change a damn thing. We're going to ask about the Epstein files tomorrow and every day that you are the president. And J.D. Vance is the vice president or president. And until we get some representatives that want to use our tax dollars for something we need it for, instead of their own greedy ass pockets. Peace, y'all. I'll catch up with y'all one.
It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make
Release
up
the
my
files,
mind? Is it
damn
worth
it.
the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Even 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say that's old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct. And I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink. But I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more. But they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. It the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in the way to settle. If you stop here, but they won't.